something that's memorable.
My name is Bill Davidson, and I am seeking our party's nomination for the position of Stark County Treasurer.
I'm so in love with my brother right now.
Then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. I will hit the ground running, come out swinging, and end up winning.
I'd like to thank you for this award, and I'm sure it's someone who deserves this more than me, but I just don't know who they are.
And please forgive me, because I'm a little bit... Yeah. Yeah.
And I've been working on this thing they told me about humbleness, humility. I don't like it.
I'm the king of the world!
I appreciate those kind words. And I will not apologize for my tone tonight.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans, some people out there in our nation don't have maps. That I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and Iraq, everywhere like such as.
The first time I didn't feel it, but this time I feel it.
I don't like it.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I have been a Republican in times good, and I have been a Republican in times bad.
I love it up here.
So I think that you guys have design reviews next week. You can be confident you won't be as bad as any of those. So that's a good start. So quick introduction on how not to present in your design reviews. I get my presentation to come back. So we're talking about delivering effective design review presentations today. Okay. We'll talk really briefly about the content and order of your presentation, so what you should have in the presentation. And when I say briefly, I mean very briefly. And then we'll spend the rest of the time talking about how to be comfortable standing in front of a room talking to people. Because in my experience with design reviews, that is the much bigger problem with students and people as you go beyond being a student. Especially when you're presenting on work that means a lot to you. So probably the most nervous I've ever been was presenting on a project in my previous job when I had spent about a year working on a project on my own, more or less, developing a new set of instruments, and had to present it to our sales team, which was really tough. And felt so nervous because I knew all of my work was being judged, right? And shortly after that, took a couple of, our whole company, or our whole division actually took some courses with the Second City in Chicago. Is anybody familiar with the Second City? So it's an improv comedy group. And they actually do some professional development as well, in addition to the comedy shows they do. So they're, we know them mostly in Chicago, but they're also in Toronto and some other cities. If you ever in Chicago, I strongly recommend their shows. They're usually hilarious, but they're different every time because it's improv. So you never know. So the order of presentation is going to be simply the steps of your design process. So if you're not sure what you should include, your PowerPoint or whatever you're going to use should walk through the steps of the design process. So you're going to start with your project initiation. Who's my project partner? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Why is it important? All of those questions about your project partner, right? Once you have established what the problem is that you're solving, then you'll go through and you'll talk about how you did your specification development and your user needs, the things we've been talking about for the last several weeks, right? Most of you have been in here for those lectures, you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to just walk through those things, and then you're going to get into conceptual design and detailed design. You're going to say, here's the big picture of what we want to do. Here's where we've got in that process. You'll show prototypes, and depending on where you are in the design process, you'll be a different point of the way along. But that's generally what you should show. So if you're not sure what to do, or if you're looking at your presentation and it doesn't more or less match the same flow as the design process, then you're doing it wrong. So go back and look at it again. So this next bit is going to be a bit more about the Second City and some of the work that they do, and then we'll go through and do some of the activities they do. So after this video, have everybody come down, and we won't really sit down much more today. Okay.
Say they fear the most, even more than dying? It's public speaking, heart racing, panic, no place to run. And we're seeing so many famous examples on tape tonight. ABC John Quinones decided to see how to tame that fear.
director and producer Michael Bay.
He's one of the most successful men in Hollywood, behind movies like Transformers. But last week in Las Vegas, producer-director Michael Bay was giving a speech when suddenly he froze.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
He had to leave the stage.
Let's thank Michael Bay for joining us.
On his website, an embarrassed Bay said live shows just aren't his thing.
Talking on speeches.
He's hardly the only one.
Shoot.
It's something Noah Gordon lives with every day.
It's exhausting thinking about it.
Noah works at a Chicago-based marketing firm, but he's deathly afraid of public speaking. He says this paralyzing phobia affects his entire life.
Your brain shuts down, so you just have to stop.
So why do we panic? Experts point to evolution. Long ago, when many eyes were on you, chances were you were prey, about to be attacked. So today, when you're in front of one of these, a private part of your brain thinks it's actually one of these.
We had to either flee or fight.
Priscilla Shanks, a public speaking expert who's consulted for ABC, explains. The sweating is so that the body can cool off quickly. The shallow breathing so that the oxygen can go to the muscles. And then the adrenaline kicks in, all to help us fight harder and flee further.
None of that works for modern man when he's feeling frightened in a situation which is asking him to be cool, calm, collected, and connected.
That's it.
Noah found a class at the famed Second City Comedy School. They put people on stage and get them comfortable with the sound of their own voice. Some of their secrets? Number one, breathe deeply right before starting. That sends a signal to shut off the fear response. Number two, get right to it. The first 30 seconds are when you're most likely to panic. So ask a question, get your audience involved.
Eat it in the club.
Noah says it's helping him face those cats back at the office as a lion himself.
And here's John Quinones.
Okay.
He's at the Sundance Film Festival, by the way. How many people there admit they've had fear of public speaking?
Okay, so that is more or less what we're going to be doing today. So those two women that you saw in the training were actually the same trainers that I have had for two different sessions, elongated sessions on training. So we're going to do some of those same activities. So the point here is it's going to be a little bit silly, but it's fun, I promise. But the point here is to walk you through some of the things you can do to kind of relax and feel more comfortable. So most of you have probably who's had a comm class or speech class in high school, right? So the person who you had teaching that class had been doing that type of a class probably for a long time or had majored in speech or communications, right? I haven't, I'm an engineer. So much like all of you, when I go in front of a room, like every week when I go in front of you guys, I feel nervous, right? So I'm not here coming from 30 years of experience teaching high school comm class. I'm coming to you with my experience from being a person who has to come up and talk in front of a crowd. So I want to share some of those experiences with you. So in improv, there are two rules, and I'll add a third when we're done. So the first rule of improv is everything you do is right. Okay. So if we're up here doing a improv comedy show and one of you is up here with me and I say, we're out in the forest, and you say, no, we're not, we're down in the ocean. The crowd is really confused, right? Nobody knows what's going on. So when you're working as a team to present, like you do in your design reviews, you should always say yes and. Whatever the other person says, even if it's dead wrong, say yes and then you can move into a further explanation that tells the right answer, right? So you should always say yes and in all the activities we do today, I'll expect you to say yes and. Second thing that we'll talk about is that you should not judge yourself, okay? So one of the biggest reasons why we get nervous is we all think, I'm terrible at public speaking. I get so nervous at public speaking. And you think about how bad you are at it. You prejudge yourself, right? And so when you prejudge yourself, you set yourself up for failure. So don't prejudge yourself. The other big thing about that is when you judge yourself, you don't have any fun. You can't play, right? When you get yourself into a playful attitude, then you stop worrying about perfectionism. You stop worrying about what everybody else is thinking about you, and you're just having fun, right? You're just being natural. And when you're having fun and feeling natural and being in a playful state, You'll be a lot more creative. You'll be a lot more relaxed and able to answer questions quickly and not get stumped. So building up that kind of playful state. So some of the things we'll do today are to build those states of mind. They'll seem kind of pointless when we're doing them, but I'll ask you to hold on to those feelings so that when you're up in front of a crowd, you can say, I know I can handle this. This is something I can do. I know how to calm myself down. Okay, so everybody, my third rule, so this is not one of the official rules of improv, but my third rule is no half-assing. So everything we do, if I say you have to do something, to be like, geez, I don't want to do this. So give it your all, even if it seems silly. It'll be more fun. Everyone else will have more fun. I'll have a lot more energy. So everybody come on down here and try and form something like a circle. It will be more of an oval because we have kind of a tight space. Don't be shy. All right, can we get everybody in? Okay, so first thing we're going to do is introduce ourselves so we get to know each other. But we want to build up that everything I do is right attitude, right? So we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. I'll start and we'll move this way. I'm going to say my name and something about myself. Doesn't matter what it is, everybody should just meet it with thunderous applause, okay? So no matter what I say, when I get done telling you something about myself, just go crazy applause, okay? All right, so my name is Andrew Pierce. I have 2 children.
I'm Mo, and I'm a flag football referee.
All right, flag football.
I'm Kelsey, and I am a coffee addict.
Coffee's delicious, all right.
Hi, my name's Adam, and I go to Purdue.
Yeah, Adam.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm a dancer.
I'm Milosh, and I'm an RA.
All right, all right.
My name's Frank, and I have 1 dog.
All right. And a Hawks fan, you gotta like that.
My name's Celeste, and I'm a triple E major.
All right.
My name's Adam, and I also have a dog.
We love dogs, all right. Woo, dogs.
My name's Nathan, and my brother and I both play Quidditch.
Quidditch, that's awesome.
My name's Arnold, and I like to bike.
Yeah, bikes.
My name's Caitlin, and I love yoga.
Yoga.
Hi, my name's Tulu. I've actually been in an improv comedy team, and I've been in theater for about 7 years.
Awesome, improv comedy.
And we are building a Mars rover for the EPICS.
Yeah, Mars rover.
My name is Kendall, and my favorite color is blue.
She's got a blue shirt on.
Hi, my name is Matt, and my birthday was yesterday.
Yay for getting older. Yay for getting older.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I have a younger brother.
All right.
Hi, I'm Sunam, and I'm on the PUZM Morale Committee.
Hi, I'm Priya, and I'm from Virginia.
That's what I was, right?
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I'm in mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I totally ate pickles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner today.
How did you eat dinner today? All right.
My name's Yuan. I'm from California.
Beautiful state, beautiful state. All right, so that's a little bit silly, but that feeling that you get whenever you just say something about yourself and everyone meets that with positivity, keep a hold of that feeling, right? So when you get up to talk and you're worried about people judging you, just remember that feeling of positivity and hold that self-confidence in, okay? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're a little tight on space, but we'll make it work, is a game called Zoom, okay? And Zoom is just all about being in the moment, okay? So Zoom, we're gonna go around the circle and then we'll add complexity as we go. So a basic Zoom goes something like this, Zoom. Now, when I zoom you, you zoom that way and we proceed around the circle. We keep going this way. Yep, there you go. Excellent, okay. Now I forgot to mention that Zoom does not go like this, Zoom. It's like this, Zoom, right? It has some energy. So let's bring it around, Zoom.
Zoom.
Very good, very good. Okay, so now we're going to introduce a new option. So now I can either zoom or I can reverse. Okay? If I reverse, then the zoom is going to go back in the opposite direction. Did you predict that this was going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So good. So you're experienced zoomers. This is very good. All right. So you can zoom or reverse. Zoom.
Zoom.
Reverse, I guess.
Very good.
Okay.
Zoom. Reverse.
Reverse.
Zoom.
Reverse.
Zoom.
Reverse.
Zoom.
Reverse.
Zoom.
Zoom. Zoom. Reverse. Zoom. Zoom.
Reverse.
Zoom. Zoom.
Excellent. Okay, now we're going to add in one more element. I'm sorry for this half of the group that didn't get a reverse. To account for that, we can start over here this time, but we're going to add in a skip. So if you're not familiar with the skip, the idea is he zooms to me, and I skip over the top of you. So we're going to throw it over the top like a basketball, right? Okay, so you can go ahead and start either direction you choose. Nope, you got to go same direction. No reverse skips. Okay, very good, very good. So now we're going to add in one more, which is going to be a pass. Okay. So for a pass, we're doing a basketball chest pass. So you take the zoom, you've got to give the full 3-point stance or triple threat position, and you're going to throw it across. Okay. So you're going to say pass. All right. So you can go ahead and start. So we've got zoom, skip, reverse, and pass.
Zoom. Pass. Yeah. Zoom. Zoom.
Reverse.
Zoom. Zoom. Skip.
Oh, was that a skip reverse? Excellent. Good job. Okay, so a couple of things that you'll notice about playing Zoom. One is people tend to plan out what they're going to do before it happens, right? So you'll be like, when it gets to me, I'm going to skip. I can't wait to skip. It's going to be awesome. And then it gets reversed right before it gets to you, and you're still like, oh, man, it didn't get to me. Or you fail to pay attention, and so you're like, what? They skipped to me? I didn't know they were going to skip to me. What do I do now? I guess I'll Zoom, right? So you see two things that happen. You see these in your group presentations all the time. Team member not paying any attention because they're in their own head thinking about what they're going to do, right? So happens a lot if you're the third person presenting in a group. You're not listening to anything the first two people are saying. You're just waiting on your turn, right? Don't do that. And the reason why you shouldn't do that is not because you have something to say, but because when you stand together and you're paying attention together, you present a united front and you build confidence in your teammate who's talking. When you are zoning out and you're just kind of like, I wonder what time it is, or they get none of that vibe from you, right? They feel like they're alone on an island. So don't leave your teammate alone on an island. Pay attention, be in the moment, okay? So if you let yourself be in some future moment or thinking about the past or your test tomorrow while you're in your presentation, you're not supporting your teammates, okay? So avoid that. Try and stay in the moment. So focus on what's happening now. So next thing we're going to talk about is a little bit of physical preparedness for when you go in to do your talks. So we talk about that nervous energy that you get, right? So you're up there and you're prey and your heart starts beating faster, your breathing gets shallow. All of that tends to make you more nervous, right? You get all of this adrenaline and you're like, I've got tons of adrenaline because I'm in front of a room, but that's not what I want. I want to look calm and composed. So that's bad. So we're going to talk about a few things to do. First one is to get the energy out first before you get into the room, okay? So if you have been sitting really still, so this is really hard on people who present like at conferences because you have to sit in your chair for 2 hours waiting on your turn to go up and talk, and you've just been sitting dead still, right? So you guys have the luxury of you can get up and move around before you go into the room. So it seems ridiculous, but just get out in the hallway, walk around, shake out your arms and legs, and just get all of your energy out. Get yourself moving, okay? It seems silly, but if you sit still and then you have to get up and talk, you're just going through such a transition. So get up, move, have some energy. You just look like an idiot in the hallway and shake yourself out, walk and move around. The next thing is great technique for relaxing and breaking that that cycle, that sympathetic cycle where you're getting the fast heart rate is called breathing a square. I think a couple people of you are in my class today who talked about this. Has anybody ever done breathing a square before? Okay, great technique. So the orthopedic company I was in before, our CEO and the vice president of my division both told me that they learned this technique and did this before they go in to give big talks. Okay, so this isn't an amateur technique. This is something that's really valuable, and it really works any time in life that you feel nervous. So you're getting anxiety for an exam, anything like that this will help. So breathing a square, simply breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. Let it out for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. And then the weirdest, hardest part is holding it with your breath out for 4 seconds. So you're going to count hold your breath 2, 3, 4 with no air. And that's the part where you're like, I just want to breathe back in. But that's where you really you break that rhythm of your heart rate and your respiratory cycle. So let's do it all together really quick. So everybody participate, please. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. So that last hold bit, kind of hard for everybody. Like, it feels a little weird. You just want to breathe back in. It's easy to hold your breath when it's in, but not when it's out. Right? So make sure you do it that way. Count the whole 4 seconds. Does anybody feel like they relaxed a little bit just from doing that one breath cycle, right? Such a simple thing, breathing. But when you have all of that adrenaline going, your mind is racing, just taking a minute to stop and slow your breathing, just you regain control of your own body. Okay? So it's a great technique. Don't be afraid to do it. I do it before I walk into these lectures every single Monday. So the next thing is confidence spine. So how do I stand when I talk, right? I'm not the best at this. I tend to like to wiggle around. But your confidence spine is a great reset button. So people don't realize human beings come with a reset button. You can reset your electronics. So confidence spine, you just take a string tied to the top of your head, imaginary, of course, and you just pull it up so that your chin will come up and back a little bit. Your chest will come out. You'll stand up straight. And that's your confidence spine, okay? You don't actually have to put your hand above your head. But so I'm up here talking, and I start to feel nervous, or I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say, and I just need to reset myself. So a lot of times in the middle of talking, that anxiety will kind of creep up on you, and your mind will start racing. Just stop for a minute. No one will know what you're doing, and just imagine you're pulling your head up, chest will come out, back will go straight, and you just feel so much more confident in that moment because you've pulled yourself up straight. You'll feel confident, and that 1 second of slow time in your mind will just relax your mind and reset yourself so you can break that anxiety cycle that you're building up. Because when you start to get anxious, you'll feel anxious about being anxious, and it'll just build up. So this is just hit the reset button. Just pull yourself up and relax, okay? So the next one is natural arms. This is my very worst trait as a public speaker. The most natural place to put your arms is right here. Seems obvious, right? But we tend to want to go pockets or behind us or in front of us. I like to scratch my arms like this because I'm not sure, especially if I have something in my hands like the presentation remote, I like to flip it around and move around, and I'm just like, I have something to talk to you guys about. I'm going to move my arms. Has anyone seen the movie Talladega Nights? He's recording a commercial as Will Ferrell's character, and he says, I'm not sure what to do with my hands, and he keeps doing this in the middle of the commercial. Like, just put them down. So it looks the most natural thing. It feels really weird just to be like this, but that's where they should be. Okay, so if you find yourself fidgeting, moving around, hands in pockets, take them out, confident spine, just let your arms be at your side. That's where they belong, okay? Seems like a simple thing, but it's not always. The next thing is movement, okay? Movement makes you more interesting. When you guys start to fall asleep in class, I move around a little bit more, so you don't realize it, it's subconscious, but when someone is speaking and they're moving and they're making eye contact with you, it's a lot more engaging than if they're just standing still, okay? So make sure that you move around a little bit, but don't fidget and pace, okay? So don't like wiggle around. The best way to move is a triangle. So I'm gonna move out, I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna make eye contact over here and talk to you, and then I'm gonna come back to the center, okay? So move in a triangle, make sure that you move around. Next thing is handing off between presenters. This is more of a personal preference of mine or pet peeve of mine than it is really a hard and fast rule, but please don't say, and now I'm going to hand it off to someone. that makes it seem like everyone else in your team has no idea what they're supposed to be doing, and you have to tell them, right? Now I'm going to hand it off to you, and you're going to talk about yellow puppies, right? I just got done talking about brown puppies. Why do I need to tell you that? You know what you're talking about, right? So just know your cue and pick up, okay? So I'm talking about, I have a golden retriever, it's a beautiful dog, and I really love my golden retriever. And then he says, I have a black lab, I love my black lab, he's a beautiful dog. And then the next person talks, okay? So there's no need to do this really mechanistic, it looks like a high school speech class. Now I'm gonna hand it off. Have you ever been in a public, like listening to someone speak in public and they did that? I have not, right? That's something that only happens in speech classes. Don't do it. Does anybody have any questions on kind of physical preparedness, how to stand? So don't fidget, no hands, don't slouch, don't wiggle around. So the other thing about your confidence spine is it puts you right in the middle. So especially, it's not intended in a bad way, but women like to cross their legs and lean, okay? So don't do that. Men more like to do some of these things, but just stay right in the middle, okay? So there's no need to kind of be like, I wonder how far I can lean this way while I'm talking to you before I fall over. It's really distracting to your audience, so don't do that. Guys, don't do this. You're not talking to a football team to rouse them up for the big game, right? So just keep your hands at the side. So those are some basic, simple things. So the next thing we'll talk about is eye contact. So this is one of the great weirdnesses in society, is that it's really, really awkward to hold eye contact with someone for a long time. But if you don't make any eye contact, then you're not engaging at all, right? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to have you guys on this side walk this way, you on this side walk this way, and you're going to come back and forth. And what I want you to do is, as you cross, make eye contact with someone and hold it just until it starts to feel a little bit weird, okay? And then when you come back the next time, just try and hold it for a little bit longer, okay? Now, there's always some outgoing people who just really love this game. They're just like, I'm going to stare at you forever. I love those people because they're strange and they creep me out. But so let's go ahead and we're just going to mesh back and forth. Yes, you on this side, go this way. You on this side, go this way. And walk. Don't stare. Walk. So you're going to walk past each other, holding eye contact. And just keep milling about, making eye contact. So when you come back through, you can pick a new person. When you come back through, pick a new person, hold eye contact. Keep going. Try and hold that eye contact longer each time. Make sure you try and hold it through. All right, so did that seem a little bit weird for everybody, or were you guys all really comfortable doing that? Okay, so we're going to do it again, but this time just a little change in your mindset. So when we are working as an engineer, or in a design team, but especially when you're doing a design review, you need to come from a place of service. Okay, so we're there. You're not up there to impress everyone and show them how great of a speaker you are. You're there to share with them the work that you're doing and have them help you to do a better job to serve your community partner. Okay? And if you're coming from a place of service, then you can forget all about how do I look up here, am I doing a good job, me, and think about the job that you're there to do, that you're serving, and you're there to provide them with information. So this time as we walk across, what I want you to do is hold that eye contact, but I want you to think about the other person, not about yourself, and think about helping them to feel comfortable making eye contact with you. Does that make sense to everybody? So just change your mindset. You just want to think about trying to help the other person to hold eye contact with you, okay? All right, go ahead. I'm gonna. What's the vampire shirt that's creeping everybody out? All right, does everybody feel sufficiently kind of weirded out right now? Excellent. That's my goal all along, to make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, so you can see the importance of eye contact, right? It's a huge way to gain credibility with people you're talking to and hold their